Hawaii and Hawaiians, we aloha people, right? I mean, look at what happened to us. Look at the injustices that would happen over the years. But not only us now, a lot of indigenous peoples too, right? But we of Hawaii, to me, is naturally aloha. And if we're not living that, then who are we and what are we? So the key, I think, is identity. We identify ourselves as Kanaka, Hawaiian, native of the land, but we also identify us as people too. You know, what is the right thing to do? You know, what is the most righteous thing to do is to be pono, be right with self first. Once we right with self, then we're able to be right with others. The reason why I call it the men of Pa'a is because I was working with men at the time, surrounded by men, and then the Pa'a became Positive Action Alliance as an acronym, but also with the word Pa'a in Hawaiian means solid, you know, immovable, steadfast. So I thought that was a great name. We started using that name all the time, the men of Pa'a, and next thing you know, I write a song about the name too. What we do is we help people put on their events, and then we help set them up, we help maintain it, and then we help clean it up. And then what that does for us, it gives us that idea of being of service to others. And that's pretty much the principles that we're built on. We're built on being of service to everyone. Being inclusive, never have been exclusive. Practicing what we call Aina-based recovery and Aina-based stewardship. And working our 3 R's, we call our 3 R's: recovery, restoration, and reconciliation. Recovery, you know, is about this recovery resilience pieces. The restoration is bringing things back to how they were and making them better. The reconciliation piece is making amends where, and the 2 times we make amends is when we want to and when we don't want to, because sometimes people don't want you to make amends to them. So there's a lot of personal things that goes on, personal emotions that goes on with the men of Pa'a, but the idea has always been service to our community. If we cannot help ourselves, we are not able to help other people. So the I guess the mantra then now becomes we become people helping people helping people. And when we are connected in that way, what happens is that the help becomes naturally. We just engage and help naturally, organically. It's not a struggle to go out and help people. It's just what we do. So if we can have a lot of folks thinking along those lines, especially our kids, that we gotta go out there and help, we need to go out there and help, but it's just a thing to do. That's the next best thing that we can do for each other, is help each other. And that's where we're coming from, in helping people, helping people, helping people. So I feel like I carry on that same tradition from my grandmother, that I feel that sense of love and understanding of Aina, which is that which feeds, right? And so if Aina feeds, then we must take care of Aina, we must malama Aina, we must aloha Aina. And I think that's where us as the men of Pa'a come in, and we figured out how to aloha Aina and malama Aina. And it's not here just in Puna, but it's actually the whole island of Hawaii that we're taking care of. When this is your lineal descendancy, when you know your kupuna is alive and well here now, even today, I think it brings back, it gives you that sense of belonging. So I have a sense of belonging here that because my grandfather is born and raised here in Pola'a, Poiki, Pola'a, Kapoho, Kumukahi. I have a direct connection to the Aina. But not only that too, but when my grandmother met my grandfather, they fell in love, and then my grandmother came here, and then once my grandmother came here, she fell in love with the place. So she fell in love with the place of her husband's birth. I define my ho'okanaka process to being culturally rooted and communally relevant, and it's a process of personal change, and it's catalyzed by servant leadership. So what that means to me is when our kani gets strong and healthy and well, his family becomes well. When his family becomes well, who benefits from that is our community. So I just learned how to reintegrate men that's coming from the justice system, as well as their families, and educate ourselves and train ourselves in case of emergency. Well, we need to be ready. That's what. So how we're going to be ready is we need to train ourselves. We need to educate ourselves, and we need to make sure that that we are equipped to handle any kinds of emergency that we have at the moment as a community.